Did you know that the movie Mean Girls is based on a book called Bees and Wannabees?
The author, Rosalind Wiseman, is joining us today. She co-authored a really great workbook that is helping parents navigate distance learning with their kids, and it's certainly a journey. Rosalind, welcome. Thank you for being here this afternoon.
Thank you for having me. Hi.
I'm a big fan. I've already been given, just as my daughter turned 13, I was given the book Queen Bees. You must read this. And now I'm already taking notes on this because we're doing the whole learning thing. And I got to say, it's challenging. So is that why you created this, to just help parents not lose it?
Yes, that is absolutely, in a nutshell, why I did this book and why I co-authored this book, so that parents would have a better chance of not losing it. And we did it over the summer because, my co-authors and I were it was so clear to us that we needed to give the best resources we could for parents in math and reading and comprehension and social emotional learning, so that we could navigate the conflicts that people are getting into, or how much screen time young people should be on when we're on it all the time. So yeah, we worked really hard to get this out, and we got it out a couple weeks ago.
I love the first fact that, the first tip that says you don't have to be your child's teacher. You have to support them, but you don't have to step into the role of being a teacher.
That's true. And even if you are a teacher yourself, it actually, it's hard to be your child's teacher, like in the academic setting. You're always the child's teacher in all different kinds of ways. But actually, the best way to be a teacher for your child right now is to manage your emotions and to be able to go through this process with them in a way where they can see that, yes, this is hard, but you also have the skills to be able to acknowledge it, talk about it, be able to role model how to manage yourself. That's actually the best teaching that we can do for our children, and be able to communicate with our children's school teachers so that they are the experts in that field, and then we work together to help our children.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely challenging, and I think we've had those discussions in our house of, let's just acknowledge this is hard, and parents don't want to have 3 jobs, but that's I like that you just gave them the pass that they don't have to be the teacher, but you said you should kind of just ensure and be the coach, maybe help, especially if you have younger kids and they're trying to manage all this. How involved do you get just to help make sure that they're logging on and doing everything right?
Right. So, okay, a couple things. One is, don't hover over your children when they are on their computers. Okay. Because actually what happens is that when you hover, their anxiety goes up, even if your anxiety temporarily goes down, because you feel like you're managing the problem. But actually, we know that for young people, their anxiety usually goes up. And then the other thing that we really have to do is be able to look at and praise the specific accomplishments that our children are doing. I'm not talking about grades necessarily, because focusing on grades is actually never a good thing, before the pandemic or now. It's that we want to be able to specifically focus on praising the things that they're doing that, for example, express creativity or show a love of learning, or getting through a really hard day when we're online all the time. Like, just being specific about praising their accomplishments can be incredibly important for them, and it strengthens the relationship that you have with them. So inevitably, when you have a conflict in your home, because we always have conflicts in our home, but right now it's so much easier because we're there all the time, that that relationship, that foundation is even stronger.
Rosalind, did you think that this was going to be your next project by any chance?
That is such a good question. No, but truly, my job, I run an organization called Cultures of Dignity. My job is to be a bridge between young people and parents and teachers, and to really be able to see, what do people need? What do young people need? What do parents need? And clearly over the summer, it was by spring, I knew that this was something that we really were going to be struggling through. And so, of course, I wanted to respond to that need. So no, it's not what I expected, but also, when you work in the world of parenting and children, you have to and as a parent, you have to get used to being able to go with what's in front of you and be able to meet it with grace and competency, and also acknowledge the messiness of all of this, because it is messy. But we are going to get through it if we can really manage ourselves, and we can be also, just one more thing, is really to be able to say, okay, I'm feeling this feeling of anxiety right now, but it's not permanent. It is not permanent. And it can move. And the more we can talk about that, the better it's going to be for our kids and for ourselves.
The social emotional part is so important, and I know that's I think what I worry about with the kids losing. But you said we need to think of screen time more, not just all screen time, get off your screen, stop it, I'm shutting down the Wi-Fi. They're in buckets because some of this is necessary for their social emotional well-being.
Yes, I'm so glad you raised that because, before we were thinking like, oh my gosh, our kids are addicted to social media and technology, and now they're on it. And lots of times young people are like, oh my gosh, my eyeballs are exhausted. I need to get off the screen. And so the way I separate social media and technology is into three buckets. One is connecting. So it's really important to connect with important people in your life. And we are doing that by social media. So having FaceTime with grandparents, for example, totally important, or aunts or uncles or friends from camp or friends that we just have that we're not seeing. So that's the connecting bucket. The next is the creativity bucket, where we're creating lots of things like, kids doing TikTok dances or art or all different kinds of things. That's creativity, and that's awesome. The third bucket is the one that's not so awesome, and we all do it, which is consuming. So when we scroll through Instagram or we, are going through YouTube and we look up and it's 2 hours later, that is not good for us. It's not good for our mental health, for our children's and not for us. And so part of the routine that I really want parents to think about, not just for their kids, but for them too, is an hour before we go to bed, no screens for anybody. And if you can't go to sleep, don't get on your screen. Read a book because it is so detrimental to you. So really, if we separate it, we can get a better handle on how much we should be doing in our lives.
Well, Roz, we're out of time, but Karen and I are wannabes, and we think you're the queen. So we want to thank you so much for being with us.
Definitely get the book Queen Bees and Wannabees. It's very helpful. All right, and this book is called The Distance Learning Playbook for Parents. You can find it online or wherever books are sold. You might want it stat right now.
Thank you so much for being with us.
And you can also visit culturesofdignity.com. That's something she really talks about, is just navigating all this, but teaching your kids to kind of do it with dignity. You do have to worry about some online bullying more now with all the screen time.
Absolutely. Absolutely.